I'm out overtime, hot take debate, penalty back so many yaps. We on the way, unapologetic opinions, guests checking in, so I share on my social. Merch going up, my brother he going global. Ass hold it down for the ladies, they need their own show. But we right back with it. Time out with Coach Cam, we shouldn't miss a minute. Yup. But we right back with it. Time out with Coach Cam, we shouldn't miss a minute. Yup.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of Time Out with Coach Cam. I'm your host, Cam Chancellor, and I have Ash Nicole with me this morning. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I can't complain at all. We have a great show in store, like always. Exciting. Just a couple shout-outs before we get going. I do want to shout out the Loveland girls basketball team. Their season did come to the end in the district finals. They played the number 1 team in the city, number 3 team in the nation, Mount Notre Dame. Gave them all they can handle for 4 quarters. They went on an 8-0 run in the middle of the fourth to kind of, put things out of reach there. The score was 61-49. But good effort from the Loveland girls there. Really, made the Mount Notre Dame girls sweat. They were led by Jillian Hayes, who had 20 points, and she will be attending the University of Cincinnati. And if you don't know the Hayes name sound familiar, that is Jackson Hayes' little sister, who went to Moeller and who's now played for the New Orleans Pelicans. So they have a good bloodline there, and UC is getting a very, very talented athlete in Jillian Hayes. Also, I do want to shout out my son's Club Ohio first grade team. They came up a little short yesterday in the championship game. It's just so funny watching first graders play. They went to overtime. It was pretty intense. 8-6. It was a battle. I know 8-6 sounds crazy, but that was a very intense game against Hilltop there. And my mom went to the game, and she was like, you know what? I don't know if I can come to a game. That Hilltop coach was so ghetto, I was about ready to punch him. I said, Ma, you can't be ready to punch the coach. She's like, I was about ready to punch him. I was like, oh, Lord. I said, you know what? I don't know if I can see you in no more games. But very exciting year. I'm happy, for the boys there. They were really sad, and, they were, crying and things like that. But, it just shows that they care and they understand. And I thought it was, I was like, let them show their emotion. It'll make them better. And but I'm happy that they had my son had a good first year. He learned what becoming a teammate was, and being a good teammate. He a lot of life skills that he learned this year. So appreciate it, and that was a good year for Club Ohio first grade. All right, into our first segment. I got to do it. I got to say I told you so. This is a good nana boo boo moment. Told people for months what you're hearing for about a month. Well, what you're hearing on the tube, what you're reading from Pro Football Talk, and it's all of these national pundits just coming out of nowhere saying Burrow won't play for the Bengals. And not once did it come out of his own mouth. I think Joe Burrow did it perfect. I'm going to wait until the combine when they interview me to just kill the notion. Because obviously they were just making up stuff all along. And that's pretty much what he said. He said, this never came out of my mouth. He said the media, you guys just kind of took it and ran with it. And that's why I said I'm not understanding why you won't listen to the person himself, or his parents who say, I don't know where this is coming from. So it just goes to show you how important local media is. I know people like to kind of throw crap on local media and act like, they're not important. This is why they're important, because they have the news, they're closest to the teams. And they know, they're pretty much, in the know of what's going on. And this whole time, we pretty much knew that Joe Burrow didn't say this. We knew that, this was kind of coming out of the blue. I just find it funny now the narrative has changed again. It's changed again. Now it was, Joe Burrow shouldn't go he's too good to play for the Bengals. He shouldn't go. They're ruining. They will ruin Joe Burrow. They won't put the cast around him. Now he comes out, I would love to play for Cincinnati. Only 2 hours and 15 minutes away. I get to go home for meals. Who would want that? Who wouldn't want that? He comes out and say that. Now it's, I don't know if Joe Burrow's that good. Now all of a sudden you changed the narrative. You went from he's too good to be in Cincinnati to now, since he said he want to play in Cincinnati, I don't know if he's the flawless prospect that we thought he was. Oh, because he has 9-inch hands. Mahomes has 9.25-inch hands. So a quarter of an inch gonna make a difference? I don't think so. And now you have some scouts coming out saying Joe Burrow compares to Tom Brady. That's a big name to compare him to. Like, I don't want him to come in with that kind of pressure. But to hear, I've never in the draft process, I've never seen anybody being compared to Tom Brady. Not coming out of the draft being number one pick. Not that I remember. So there's something to that there. But to just bring it back to, what I'm trying to say is you just have to make sure, like, you do your own research, you do your own, your own findings, just because, you just can't believe what everybody says. They have people have a story to write. They have a job to do. And like I said last week, whether it's right or wrong, they're gonna post it. They're gonna post it. They're gonna push it. So I'm glad that's kind of over. You know what I mean? Because I told you, I don't know if I could have did that for the next 3 months, the next 2 months, just dealing with, Burrow's not gonna play for you, Burrow. So I'm glad he ended that topic. Just end it. So now we can focus on, okay, we're gonna pick Joe Burrow. Now let's figure out what we're gonna do to build a team around him. So that's just the question now moving forward. But gotta say, I told you, Joe Burrow will be a Cincinnati Bengal.
I just want to know who said that to you.
Everybody that be hanging on the
Can you drop some names?
I'm not name dropping, Ash. I'm not name dropping because we're not doing that.
Okay.
We're not doing that.
I think I know who it is.
But.
Or multiple people it could be.
Multiple. I'm talking about, I've argued with people on Twitter, argued with people on Facebook. I've been arguing for months. That's why I'm glad this is over. And like I said, Burrow people say, what if Burrow don't work out? Oh, well, he don't work out, but obviously he's the number one pick. You got to take him. Mm-hmm. So if Joe Burrow don't pan out, he just don't pan out. But he's the pick. You got to take him. And I wouldn't be mad, at the Bengals for being like, you picked the wrong quarterback. It just happened. But Joe Burrow's the guy, and he's the consensus number one. Now, if Tua wasn't injured, it would have been close. But I think, Joe Burrow's the guy, and you got to go with him. But I have to say it, and a boo-boo, Joe Burrow's going to be a big O. So I'm really excited about that. And just to kind of, we stand on the Bengals here, but kind of just to switch topics just a little bit. It was a question before the Combine arrived, will Duke Tobin or will Mike Brown and the Bengals spend money in the offseason? Because, we don't like to spend.
No, we're cheap.
We cheap. We are cheap. We look for any kind of way to cut costs. And me and my brother talk about it too. We always get a Band-Aid player. Mm-hmm. Just to cover, we bleeding out the wound. We just bleeding. And we try to get a little Band-Aid to cover it up. That Band-Aid can't last. Blood all through the Band-Aid. You know what I'm talking about. That's the type of players we get. Like a B.W. Webb, Band-Aid player. He ain't that good. Getting cooked. But yet we signed him. And he was our prize free agent signing last year. Ultimate Band-Aid. Blood all through the Band-Aid. Band-Aid just leaking. You know what I'm saying? For real. We have to find players that's not going to be a Band-Aid. Get a permanent fix. Give me some stitches or something. So we can heal the wound. Not just have it just keep leaking and bleeding. But Duke Tobin said it's not a question whether they're going to spend money. That's a vague answer. The reason why I say it's a vague answer is this. I thought about it. At first, I'm like, I'm excited about that. About spending money. Okay. Because even though the answers did change, because last year or any other year, you'd be like, well, a lot of teams that go out and spend in free agency aren't always successful. And when you get that tone, you already know, oh, Lord, we're going to sign a whole bunch of guys for 1 year, $2 million, knowing they butt. Knowing the outcome, you know what's going to happen. But this is kind of a change of tune. but it could mean several things. It could mean that we re-sign Joe Mixon the money. It could mean we re-sign A.J. Green the money. It don't necessarily mean we going to go out there and get a guy that we need. Like, we need a linebacker ASAP. We have been terrible at the linebacker position for as long as I know. Even on the Bengals good team, you had Burfict, and when Burfict went down, the linebacker core was garbage. Like, I don't understand why why is it taking us 8 to 10 years to find a decent linebacker. And even with Vontaze, it was an undrafted free agent because he had issues, couldn't control himself. So Marvin do what Marvin do, gave him a chance. And it panned out for about 3 years. And after that, suspensions, injuries, and then just, fall off. We need a linebacker. It's a couple linebackers that I want them to target in this free agency. It came out that the Browns are not going to re-sign Joe Schobert. I think he's a good linebacker for the Browns that will be on the market that you can get for about $10 million, $11 million annually. You have to try to look at getting him. Another one is the Rams linebacker, Corey Littleton, that's a free agent. You have to look at getting him, bringing him in for a visit, try to sign him. And I think we need to sign a guard, offensive lineman, whether it's, I don't think, everybody's talking about Joe Thuney. We're not going to get him. He's going to, require top dollars, almost record-setting guard dollar. We're not going to sign him. People want Brandon Scherf from the Redskins. I don't think we're going to get him either. A name I would look for is Graham Glasgow, the guard for the Detroit Lions. I think he will be a good fit here, money-wise, and I think he'll be definitely a upgrade at the guard position. But there's money to be spent. Dalton, they're working on trying to move Andy Dalton. Cordy Glenn, it looks like that relationship's going to end. It looks like we're going to cut him. So that's freeing up right there alone close to $25 million. And then you got to look at Dre Kirkpatrick. What are we going to do with him? It's been silent on his front. He needs to go. He needs to go right now. And I know my video guy, Danny, he don't like Dre. He don't like Dre at all. Ever since I met Danny, man, I can't stand Dre. I can't stand Dre. And, I tried with Dre. But Dre's just frustrating. He's frustrating because he got all the intangibles. He's tall. He's, he got long arms. He can run. And he's sloppy with it. Don't turn around and find the ball. Pass interference, just penalty king when you ain't got to. Be 3rd and 15. He got illegal contact on the 5-yard route. Give you an automatic first. Like, stuff like that is what gets me with Dre. And then when he make one play, he won the bowl. He won Super Bowl. He doing them incomplete. He wasn't even around. He just dropped it. You ain't did nothing. But I would like to see Dre go. I think they'll bring him back, though, to be quite honest with you. Dre will be on the team. I don't know if they'll sign Denard back. Because I know they do like Darius Phillips. And I like him, too, at the corner spot. I think he needs more snaps. But it's going to be interesting. This is a really, really interesting offseason for the Cincinnati Bengals. This is the offseason where you've seen the Cincinnati Reds spend a record amount of money in the offseason. I'm hoping that the national media kind of, because they kind of embarrassed us a little bit. I hope the Brown family's embarrassed by it. And I hope that kind of wake them up like, hey, we got to do something. We can't be the doormats of the league. Because that's what happened before Marvin came. It got so bad that, they had to do something. And then Marvin came and kind of helped them turn this ship around. And, and we end up being a little bit more successful, getting the playoffs and, not being the laughingstock of the league. Now we're back at that. And, Mike Brown, whether you like it or not, he don't like to be a laughingstock of the league, whether you like it or not. I mean, he's a businessman, but he don't like to be the worst in the league. So let's see. Let's figure this out. This is going to be interesting. It's a lot of money to be spent. I hope they spend some of it. And because there is a minimum amount that you have to spend in the NFL now. So Hopefully we get some guys in here that can help right away, and we draft well. We have to draft well. I mean, because you got to think, with the first pick, you get in the first pick of every round. So you're going to get some first-round talent that slide the second round. You're going to get some second-round talent that slide the third round. So we got to capitalize on that opportunity in the draft moving forward. All right. Coming up next, we will have a segment called Quarterback Musical Chairs right after the timeout.
Okay, so coming back from timeout, we have this next segment, okay? And basically, it's called QB Musical Chairs. And I'm going to ask you, who do you think next year's QB would be for the upcoming season? Okay. So, first up, I have the GOAT, Tom Brady.
Yeah, it's been a lot of rumors saying that, he's about ready to lead the Patriots. I don't believe it. I don't believe it at all. I think Tom Brady will be a New England Patriot next year. I think he'll sign something like a 2-year deal and stay with the Patriots. They just have to put more talent around him, which, I think they will. I think Tom Brady's to the point where he can't uplift a marginal cast anymore. He has to have the proper help for him to, for them to contend for Super Bowls. I think they're a playoff team, but for them to contend, for Super Bowls, they have to put some better talent around him. But I think at the end of the day, Tom Brady stays a New England Patriot.
Okay, Phillip Rivers.
Oh, man, River. Oh, man, River. Yeah, it came out, that they are going to part ways with Phillip Rivers. And we said that during the middle of the year. Phillip Rivers and the Chargers were just, completely done there. I have Phillip Rivers going to the Indianapolis Colts. I have him going to the Colts in the offseason. They need a quarterback. Jacoby Brissett started off good, but, reality came hitting, midway through the year. And I think Phillip Rivers fits the Colts well. They run a lot of stuff where he gets the ball out quick. I think that will really help the Indianapolis Colts. And they could, and with Frank Reich, the coach, I think he can, squeeze some life out of Phillip Rivers. I know he's up there in age, but I think he can, work with his skill set. And I think it's a good fit. I think it's a perfect match. Phillip Rivers and the Indianapolis Colts. I think that's what we'll be playing for in the 2020 season.
Okay, Teddy Bridgewater.
I feel like Teddy's getting dead wrong and throughout this process, man. It's like he came in, for the New Orleans Saints when Drew Brees was hurt. Didn't miss a beat. Played well. They were still winning football games. Mm-hmm. And now it's like the Saints want to choose Taysom Hill over Teddy Bridgewater. Outside of a couple gadget plays, what is Taysom Hill? We gotta start being for real now. Like, they talk about Taysom Hill after Drew Brees retired, him being a franchise quarterback. Like, come on, y'all. Like, that's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen. He's not a franchise quarterback. Of course, he can make a few throws, on a wildcat play, they expected him to run. Like, that's gadget stuff. But him being under center, dropping back to pass, or even in the shot, asking him to throw the ball 30 times, getting it to Michael Thomas, I don't see that happening. But I'm just shocked that the Saints ain't looking at Teddy Bridgewater as their next quarterback moving forward. But if that's the case, I feel like Teddy Bridgewater will end up in San Diego. I feel like he'll end up with the Chargers. They have a hole there at quarterback. Now, I do know they're possibly looking to fill that hole in the draft. They will be in a prime position to get a Justin Herbert or maybe a Jordan Love, who really skyrocketed up the draft boards a little bit after his combine. But I got Teddy Bridgewater going to the Chargers because a lot can happen in the draft, because now you're hearing things like Washington may not like Dwayne Haskins. They talking about they may look at a quarterback, which I don't believe. I think they're just trying to have someone trade up for him. You know what I mean? But, doing a little games and shit. But I got Teddy Bridgewater with the Chargers right now.
Okay, your favorite, Jameis Winston.
Famous Jameis Winston, baby. I told y'all, I know Jameis got his flaws. I know he throw a lot of picks. I like Jameis for some reason. I still think he ends up with the Bucks. They pick 14th in the draft. Don't have a lot of capital to move up to get a quarterback that's really going to be for them. I think they gave Jameis Winston another shot in 2020. He got the LASIK surgery. So, them 30 interceptions might come down. He's 30 for 30. That LASIK may help him. Jameis, the problem with Jameis is he just never seen a throw that he couldn't make, that he don't feel like he could make. And that's the issue. That's the only thing wrong with Jameis. He just feel like he could gun it in there. If he can stop some of those and just take a check down route or, go underneath, he'll be fine. Like I said, I like his skill set. But Jameis Winston will be the starting quarterback for the Bucks next year.
Okay, Andy Dalton.
We know he won't be a Bengal. That's one thing we can kind of attest to. I know that for a fact. We're not going to pay him $17 million to sit on the bench. Andy Dalton will be traded to the Chicago Bears. I think he will be traded to the Chicago Bears for maybe a 4th round pick, maybe even a 5th round pick. Whatever you could get, whatever we could get, we'll take it. We'll take an extra pick. We'll take the salary off our books. And like I said, I'm appreciative of what Andy did here. He gave us some fun times. He gave us probably the most winning that we've seen prior as if you're 30 and under, if you're 30 years old or younger, this is the most winning we've ever seen under the Andy Dalton era. So you got to be a little bit appreciative, but I think he goes to the Bears. I think they will get tired of Mitch Trubisky quickly. And I think we could possibly take the reins there in Chicago. I think that's a good fit for him. They have a strong running game that they like to impose on, and they got a good defense. So you give Andy Dalton a good defense, you give him a solid run game. I think he can do some things.
Okay, and last is Ryan Tannehill.
The Titans need to lock Ryan Tannehill up right now. He played very well. They need to lock him up, and they need to try to locking up Derrick Henry. Both of those two, they were integral pieces of them advancing. And Ryan Tannehill during the regular season, when Marcus Mariota was struggling, they were under 500. They went nowhere near the playoffs, and and they made a good run second half of the season, got to the playoffs in the AFC title game. I don't see how you just break that up completely after one season like that. You were really a play here or a play there for being in the Super Bowl. To be quite honest, I mean, you know what I mean? They played, the Chiefs well. Ryan Tannehill, I do believe, will be a Tennessee Titan. I would be shocked. I would be absolutely shocked to not see him return. I would be absolutely shocked. I don't know where they go in the draft. Really, they can really pick best player available, but Ryan Tannehill will be playing for the Tennessee Titans in 2020. All right, coming up next, we're going to share the winners and the losers of so far of this NFL Combine right after the timeout. Yes, we are back from the timeout. And it's a good week for NFL, the NFL Combine. This is where your workout warriors can move up the draft. It can hurt you. It can help you. For me, as far as the Combine, some measurables you can take, some you can't. Sometimes you just have to look at the film. But there's always winners and losers of the NFL Combine. I'm going to discuss the winners. There were a few losers that I'm going to discuss, but I do want to discuss the winners of the Combine thus far as I saw. The receiver out of Notre Dame, Chase Claypool, really helped himself this Combine. He is 6'4", 235 pounds, and ran a 4.42. That the measurables itself gives you almost like a Megatron feeling, a Calvin Johnson like feel. 6'4", 230 plus, running, 4.4. As a bigger receiver, stuff like cone drill and all that stuff. I'm not saying it don't matter. I'm just saying, you could look past that when you got a receiver of that caliber, that big, and that fast, and and he really, Chase Claypool really kind of came out of nowhere. He's from, excuse me, he's from Canada. Just kind of, really, just kind of worked, and that's just a good story of, just making it, just continue to work. Don't worry about where you ranked or none of that, and growing up, he had a run. He didn't have it easy. He didn't have it easy at all. I know teachers at his school, would catch and, see that his, shoes were too small and everything like that. So happy for a kid like Chase Claypool, who worked himself up. And now, he's looking at, possibly getting drafted day 2 of the draft. So that's just awesome for him. Another winner was yesterday, Isaiah Simmons. Everybody pretty much had him as a top 10 pick anyway. However, this is a guy, 6'5", running a 4.39 at linebacker, and he has a 39-inch vertical. I've never seen a defensive prospect like Isaiah Simmons. He is a linebacker. However, he played safety last year for Clemson. He played in the slot as a corner for Clemson, and he will come downhill and thump you. I've never seen a player on defense this versatile coming out of the draft who can play almost anywhere. You can line him up at corner if you wanted to. Just amazing. Just an amazing athlete. And he for sure locked up his top 10 pick. And maybe if you're I know the Giants want to get some offensive line help for Daniel Jones, but at 4, man, he can really help you. He can really help you there. Like I said there, I'm not a big, I know Ash gonna kill me. I'm not a big, I don't know. Something about Chase Young is steering me the wrong way. I don't know what it is. I think, like I say, I don't think he's gonna be bad, but I don't think he's gonna be this great prospect that everybody today says he's gonna be. I think he's gonna end up more towards like a Jadeveon Clowney, where he's a good player, not a great player. I think Isaiah Simmons will be the best defensive player in this draft. Another winner that I have here, Jonathan Taylor, the running back out of Wisconsin. If you look at his film, he doesn't look that fast, but he ran a sub 4.4, ran a 4.39 40. That really helped his case because they didn't think that he was going to run that well. I think that moved him up the draft because he was almost like the 3rd or 4th rated running back coming in. I thought that really helped his case to show that he can run. You already know, he has the skills. The tape don't lie there. So they wanted to see if he can run, and he did that. And he showed scouts that, that he does have the speed to break long runs. So that will be interesting to see where he ends up. But Jonathan Taylor helped himself. He was a winner of the Combine. Another winner, Denzel Mims, receiver. I was hoping to get Denzel Mims from Baylor in like maybe the 3rd round. If I was the Bengals, that's not going to happen anymore. He is a fringe first rounder after this Combine. 6'3", 207 pounds, run a 4.38, 38-inch vertical. He gave a great interview. And he said, they asked him what is one of the characteristics, of your game that people don't give you enough credit for. First thing he said was blocking. And I was like, wow. And then you look at his tape, he blocks down the field. The Senior Bowl, he was blocking, killing corners. And that's huge in the run game. That, when your wide receivers blocking the run game, that turns a 10-yard run into a 50-yard run for a touchdown. So that's a huge, receivers blocking downfield. So Denzel Mims, he got all the skills, the speed, the hands, the athleticism. And you combine that, with obviously he had a great combine. You combine that with his film. Man, it's hard to see him last to the 3rd round. You're looking at a fringe first rounder, possible early 2nd rounder there. Last winner I have is a Bearcat, Josiah DeGura, tight end for the Bearcats. Really, really helped himself this weekend. He ran well. Put up 25 reps on the bench. He can fill that role of a tight end / H-back position where you use him as a fullback as well. He has a lot of flexibility, and I think you'll see Josiah Deguara either get picked late in day 2 or early round 3, but he really cemented himself. Ended up being probably like a 6th, 7th round draft pick coming into the combine. Help himself probably move up to 4th or 5th to really help himself and cement himself in that draft. Of course, we always have some losers of the NFL Combine. The biggest loser of the NFL Combine to me was Jake Fromm. He stunk up the joint. Just to watch his drills, anything he threw past like 15 yards was a struggle. He looked very Dalton-esque. Far as his combine, just a weak arm. People were stopping, to catch the ball, throws out of bounds. He just really struggled there. And like I said, I like Fromm. He's a good kid, man. He just don't have it. He just don't got it. He just don't have it at all. You're probably looking at probably was a 2nd, 3rd round pick. You're now probably looking at Fromm going about 4th, 5th round now. And just, I don't see how he honestly sticks in the NFL. Just as, he has the leadership, but he just doesn't have the arm talent. And I hate to say it, but he's looking like an XFL product right now. Next loser of the combine, Jalen Rieger, receiver from TCU. He was on film. He looks much faster than what he ran. But it came out that he added 15 pounds of muscle. I said that last week on the show. Anybody try to change their resume, I tell you about Deontay Wilder, adding all that weight. Once again, you add somebody who's normally at about 180, about 190. He comes in at 206. He's slower. His cone's slow. And he's a smaller receiver. So getting in and out of your breaks, you got to be able to get in and out of your breaks quickly. And I didn't like what I saw from him. He was a 1st round pick that you was possibly looking at. It's just too many talented receivers in this draft. I think he falls to the 2nd round, possibly 3rd round with this times there, just because of his size. He's not that big, and for him they expected him to run in the 4.3s. He came up a 4.47, close to 4.5. That's just not good enough. That's just tough for Jalen Rieger there, and I think he does slide in the draft. And last but not least, there, a combine loser that I saw yesterday was AJ Espinoza, the defensive end from Iowa. He was a fringe 1st rounder. He did not do well on his 40 time. Ran a 5.04, not 5.4, excuse me, 5.04 40. His cone wasn't very good. But like I said, it's losers of the combine. Sometimes you do have to turn on the film and realize, what type of player you're getting. I do think Espinoza is better than what he showed in the combine. The film don't lie. I do think he's a talented player. But like I said, some GMs, some scouts, they do put stock in the combine. And then, it does slide your stock. So, I hope the losers that were in the combine, I do hope they have a better pro day to help themselves moving forward. All right. Coming up next, we will have our quick hot takes right after the timeout.
Quick hot takes.
Okay, so we are back with quick hot takes. Zion versus LeBron tonight.
Yeah.
But on Tuesday, the King dropped 40. Were you impressed? Because I know I was. I mean, the King is still the King.
I mean, he dropped 40. I mean, anytime you drop 40 points, it's a big deal. It's a big deal. It was kind of like, old school versus new school. Zion versus LeBron, and LeBron had to show him. LeBron had to show him like, hey, not yet, young fella, not yet, young fella. I'm still here. I'm still here. You good within your own right, but I gotta do my thing. And he took over that game and dropped 40. And Zion, he played a good game. He had 29 points. Like I said, he's a bull. He's strong. He's gonna find a way to put the ball in the bucket. Like I said, I just want to see a little bit more versatility to his game, but outside of that, he's playing well. But yeah, I was impressed with it. I was impressed with the 40-point performance. He kind of put the young guy on notice. Like, hey, I'm still here. I'm still LeBron. I'm still the king.
Okay, so whose side are you on in the Giannis versus Harden beef?
I'm on Giannis' side. And I'm biased though. I don't like the Rockets. I don't like Harden. I don't like don't like really nobody on the Rockets.
Agreed.
But it was interesting what Harden said though. He said, "Hey, if I was 7 foot and all I could do is run and jump and dunk, that would be easy for me too. You actually have to use skill to work." He kind of highlighted skill, and I'm like, Harden is skilled. Don't get me wrong. He's very, very, very skilled. But Giannis is efficient, man. He's good within his run. I think it'll take a lot of skill for a 7-foot player to be able to handle the ball and do all the things that he do. And okay, you may have skill, but where's your will? I need will.
Okay.
Because Harden doesn't defend, and people give me like, oh, he has this amount of blocks. So well, I could block somebody from behind, or talk about man-to-man defense. He gets cooked, and we know that. Skill is a huge part of any sport. Sometimes it's will too, and will to win. And I think Giannis has that type of mentality. That I think he'll get there. But I'm on Giannis' side, and Giannis versus Harden beef. I think it's hilarious though.
Okay, so the Houston Rockets won in a thriller in overtime by 111 to 110. Has Russ worked his way into the MVP convo?
Yeah, like top 5. He'd be about 5th. He don't work this way. Russ has been playing really, really well, and I got to give him credit. I'm not a Russell Westbrook fan at all, y'all. I've said it plenty of times. I told people what he had to do to become efficient. He's finally doing it. He's not shooting threes no more. I said get rid of that 3-point jump shot. You're not efficient from there. Just stop shooting them. You can still get to the paint. You can still make your mid-range jump shots, and you will be effective. He got rid of that 3-point jump shot, and he has been balling out of control. He's honestly, been playing better than James Harden has been as of late, and he's been dominating. Russ has really been dominating. He's worked his way back into the MVP talks for sure, and like I said, he'll be about 5th. But you have Giannis still up there. You have Luka up there. You have LeBron up there. So I mean, those are your 3. That that's going to really be up there for MVP. But he's up there. Russ is up there, and he's been balling.
Okay. UC has a big game versus Houston. Do you think they will win today? And they play at Houston, by the way.
I know.
And y'all have to win.
I know. We won the first time when it was here. My man was biting people in the leg. I don't forget that. You know what I mean? So we don't know what we're going to get today. But Houston's a good team, man. They're a good team on the road. It's a big one. We got to have it. We got to have this win. This is for first place in the conference. So it's a lot at stake. And it came out, you see they will be playing with heavy hearts. John Brennan, father, passed away, the coach. So he's been dealing with ALS and things like that. So it's just crazy. You never know, what people are going through throughout the season. Like, you would have never known. Right. That that their family was dealing with that type of that type of grief there, and just making sure their dad was okay on a daily basis, and while you're trying to run a college program, right? That's definitely hard to do. So, I'm not gonna say they're gonna lose today. I feel maybe a spirited effort from the Bearcats. Win one for the Gipper. I think they pull out a tough basketball game today. I look for Trey Scott to have a big game and to kind of carry us to a win.
Steph Curry will not return to the lineup. Should he sit out for the year?
I know you said no.
No.
You don't think he should return?
No. For what?
I agree.
They're trash.
I agree with you. Yeah, I agree with you. He was scheduled to come out today and play. He was scheduled to start today and be reinserted into the lineup. And they like, hold up, nah, we don't think so. Just sit out.
Yeah.
I mean, y'all one of the worst teams in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all might get the number 1 overall pick.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I just don't see. I don't see the reason why. It's the same thing with Klay Thompson. Klay ready. Klay could probably play if he wanted to. If they was in the playoff hunt, Klay would come back. They're not.
Right.
So let's just stop it. You know what I mean? By April, by about the end of March, going into April, they need to go ahead and sit on Draymond down too. Just sit them all down. You know, just let them rest up. Like I told, for most of you, that's what I'll give it to LeBron. You know what I mean? As far as making it to 8 straight finals, you know, and things like that. It's hard to do. It's hard to stay healthy that long.
Mm-hmm.
And he stayed healthy for the most part throughout the whole stretch. And you see guys like now, like a Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, even Draymond, they just beat up after 5 straight appearances, you know, 5 straight finals appearances. And it's just like, you know, at some point you just get tired. Your body gets tired. And I think this was that year for them that they just needed to rest their bodies. And the Warriors, everybody want to count them out. They'll be back next year. They have Steph, Klay, and Draymond. Let's not forget, without KD, Steph, Klay, and Draymond still made it to the finals.
Agree.
Now you added they have an Andrew Wiggins on their team that will help. He's better than Harrison Barnes was when they made it to the finals. And they may have the number 1 pick on top of this. The Warriors, they ain't slick. They ain't slick at all. They gonna be right back in the thick of things next season. So just rest up. Take this mulligan. You know what I mean? Take this year off. And they'll be right back at it.
Okay. Okay. Coach, does Ohio high school basketball need to shoot the clock? Did I say shoot the clock?
Blooper! Shoot the clock. Boom, boom, boom. No. I understand what you're saying.
Shot the clock.
No, I understand. I understand what you're saying. We really need a shot clock.
Yes.
Yes.
It's early.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's fine. I'm sorry. Okay. Yes, Ohio needs a shot clock.
Shot clock, yes.
Right now. Whoever OHSAA, it's embarrassing what's going on in these high school tournament games. Embarrassing. Okay? People saying don't play zone defense. Okay, I get it. I'm not a big zone defense guy either. We playing man-to-man. My team's playing man-to-man. But however, it's still a part of the game. It's a defense. What that tells me is, look, people talk about they scared to come out and play defense. Well, you scared to play offense. You scared to go up against the zone. You scared you don't have faith that y'all can break it. Zones ain't hard to beat. Move the ball, get the ball to the middle, rotate it quick. It ain't hard to beat. So I don't understand why, you know, we got teams holding the ball for a whole quarter. For a whole quarter. Up in northern Ohio, it was Russia versus Jackson Center. Score was 6-4 at the end of the first half. 6-4. Come on, man. This ain't 1926. Play the game. Play the game of basketball. That's a joke. All right, it's a flat out joke. And I'm not gonna sit up here. And I understand the coaches that hold the ball. I mean, I'm not gonna sit up here and get on the coaches. The rule is in place. There's no shot clock. So if I'm up in the third quarter by 8 and you sitting in the zone, I'm gonna hold that mofo too. I got a job to do. My job is to win the tournament game and advance. You see what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna put myself in the position to say what I won't do, what I won't ever do. Cause shoot, the pressure on. Coaches lose jobs in high school just like any other level. They gotta win. And if I'm up 8 to 10 points and you sitting in the zone, it's the middle of the third quarter. Hey. As soon as you cross half, just dribble right there. Make them come out and guard you. I'm trying to advance. I'm trying to win. So it has to be fixed because not only it has to be fixed, just for that, they got to get the kids ready for the next level of basketball. You don't have a minute to take a shot. You got 30 seconds. I would like to see them implement a 40-second shot clock for high school basketball. 40 seconds. You should be able to get a good shot up in 40 seconds. If not, I'm sorry, you boo-boo. 40 seconds is a long time. You get 10 across, that's 30. Come on, why are we holding the ball forever? Why are we holding the ball forever? And it's just now popping up. But and I'm sorry, Joe, but GCL teams play like this. Dude, Moeller, LaSalle, not as of late, but I remember back in the day, a LaSalle Moeller game would be a good 29 to 25. They done rotated that ball 10 times to get a good shot. For real, I'm like, how these two good teams in the score 29 to 25? And we got all state players on this. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. But I like to see it implemented, across all levels of high school ball. It should be countrywide. Get you a shot clock implemented. 40 seconds. 40 seconds. And it's a more exciting game to play even in high school. I know the rebuttal is, well, they're high school players. You're going to see more bad shots. I see bad shots anyway with no shot clock. So, I mean, I just think for the development of the kids, just to get them used to playing, getting them used, to being conscious of, okay, looking up at the shot, okay, I got 10 seconds left. We got to make a move. And that's why I think you see, and you see it in, juniors or seniors as well sometimes, but you see freshmen, when they get to college sometimes, reset rules after hit the ring, get offensive rebound, it don't reset to the full 30, it resets to like 20. Mm-hmm. And you see a lot of shot clock violations. They don't know. It's not programmed in them. Just because they used to have it forever, and they don't. It needs a shot clock. It needs a shot clock bad. Like I said, I'm not getting on any coach in this tournament that decided to do it. I mean, like I said, I'm not saying I wouldn't. I'm not, not in that position because I haven't been in that position of trying to, be a high school varsity coach trying to win a tournament game. Mm-hmm. On the outside looking in, I don't think I would. I just think it's almost it's disrespectful to the game. It's disrespectful to the game. You're not playing basketball at that point, and I'm not a big fan of it. We need a shot clock in Ohio. We need a shot clock in Ohio soon. We got to get something in place for them. I know the big thing is about funding. How are you going to, some of these like inner city schools, your CPS schools, how are they going to, buy a shot clock? You know what I'm saying? How are they going to, be able to put it on top of their, on the basket or, anything like that? I say you could buy a clock, sit in the corner. Sit in the corner on the floor. No, I'm serious. Some even, high school, college gyms have it. Sit that bad boy on the floor in the corner. Count down. You can see it. It's got to be a way. It's got to be a way. Let's figure it out. Let's move the game forward in Ohio. We stuck in the past. And like I said, it shouldn't be no tournament games where it's 6-4 after half. It should be, people pay $10 to get into these games, and you're watching the team hold it for a quarter. That's not cool. It's not cool at all. Ohio, let's get a shot clock in. Let's get a shot clock in place. Let's get a rule in place right now. All right, that's it. Another episode of Time Out with Coach Cam. Ash has been real. We out.